So, Big Wild Year, we need a good diversity of food, and to cover off our starches, we're looking mainly at roots, which we haven't collected yet, but it's fall. We're 2/3 of the way through October, and it's a good time to be picking roots. Today we're after dandelions, burdock, and Jerusalem artichoke. And for the dandelions, I bought this Fiskars stand-up weeder. It's like a pump action dandelion shotgun, and I'm trying it out for the first time. Fast. Okay, so it pulls out a dirt plug with the dandelion, and it tends to not pull the whole root out. So I suspect the dandelion grows back from that bottom piece of root. I don't know. It's pretty satisfying to pull the tops out as rapidly as you can. And for our purposes, like, we'll be using these roots, we'll be roasting them so we can have roasted dandelion. We might dry them or cold store them and use them as a root vegetable. So I'm pretty happy just to get these top parts. And I'm also picking in fairly hard packed sandy soil. So I'm going to test this out in something that's a bit loamier and see if it pulls out more of the root. But it works really, really quickly. And for eating purposes, I think it is getting the best part of the root. Okay, some field side Jerusalem artichokes. So we've moved on from the burdock, which we did off camera. We only have a little bit of battery power left, so I wanted to save it up a bit. We're going to get in here and start excavating a bit of soil and see what we find for artichoke roots. Oh my goodness! They look so good! Look at that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Look at how big these are. These are not your ornamental variety artichokes. I forget what these are, but I think they were breed specifically for the big edible roots. So that's what we're picking.
Yummy they are. Oh, I missed the bucket.
Uh-oh. A lot like digging potatoes, eh? Mm-hmm. If they're right close to the surface and the soil is really loose, so you can kind of... Oh, there's one that I missed. Shake it up, flip it over, pull out. There's a nice one, look at that. And then all the little ones, we just end up turning them under and they'll grow more new plants for next year. There's another nice one there. Our bucket is just over half full.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's still lots of patch here to dig through. Alright, what I did is I pre-rinsed these dandelions in a big bucket. And I got the main clods of dirt off, and then I put them into this smaller bucket in my sink. Soaked them overnight, so most of the dirt's loosened off. And now, I'm just giving them a quick brush. I'm not too worried about this small stuff or these little rootlets to do trimming on those. But these big dark spots I usually remove. And on a bigger dandelion like this, I'm also going to probably cut most of them in half, just so they roast a little more evenly. And this is what the tray of dandelions looks like when it's ready to roast. So I just want them spread thin, and I'm going to check online for my temperature and time, or I'm going to check my Ewell Gibbons book, Stalking the Wild Asparagus, and we'll throw those in. 200 Fahrenheit, 30 minutes. So these are the Jerusalem artichokes, and based on some internet reading, it seemed like the preferred method to deal with them is to slice them with the mandolin, as I've done, dry them in the dehydrator, as I'm about to do, and then people finish them by roasting them briefly in the oven and then packing them in airtight jars. So we'll see how these guys look when they're dried out. I think the oven roasting is just to put that little brown bit on them. We'll dry them out anyway, and then I think I'll pack them into sealed jars and store them up for the big wild year. There's 14.5 pounds of Jerusalem artichokes that we collected in a very short period of time in that wild patch. Semi-wild patch. You don't usually find them growing wild in my area, but in old homestead sites or home sites you might find a wild patch of them, and these guys seem to be a pretty nice variety.